Thomas was at the wharf. He was waiting for the cars of Slate.
Hurry up and uncouple these slate cars, wheezed Rheneas.
You're in a hurry, Rheneas, tooted Thomas.
I am, wheezed Rheneas. But I can't tell you why. It's a surprise.
As soon as the slate cars were uncoupled, Rheneas puffed away again. Now he had to collect Skarloey's coal cars. Then there was trouble. When Rheneas arrived at the siding, the cars weren't there.
Flatten my funnel, gasped Rheneas. Where have they gone?
Rheneas was sure this was where he had left them.
I must find Skarloey's cars, he whistled.
And Rheneas puffed quickly away. Rheneas searched high and low for the missing coal cars. But they were nowhere to be found. Rheneas was upset. Rheneas stopped at a signal. Skarloey puffed up. He looked very unhappy.
My coal cars have disappeared, Skarloey cried. If I don't find them, I will have to go to the depot and tell the narrow gauge controller.
Rheneas watched Skarloey puff sadly away.
I wanted to surprise Skarloey, Rheneas sighed. But I've only made things worse.
Rheneas felt terrible. He didn't want his friend to get into trouble. He knew what he must do.
I must tell the other engines about my surprise. Maybe they can help me find the missing cars before Skarloey finds the narrow gauge controller.
Rheneas arrived at the transfer yards. Sir Handel, Mighty Mac, and Rusty were there.
Please help me, Rheneas whistled. Skarloey's trucks are missing, and it's all my fault.
He told them all about his surprise. The other engines were happy to help.
If we each look somewhere different, I know we'll find them, he tooted.
Just then, Peter Sam puffed in with the missing cars.
I found these cars at the bottom of the hill, chuffed Peter Sam. Do you know who left them there?
I did, puffed Rheneas excitedly.
Thank you, Peter Sam.
Peter Sam was puzzled. And so was the narrow gauge controller.
You told me the cars were missing, Skarloey,
said the narrow gauge controller. He was surprised. Skarloey was surprised too.
They were, sir, wheezed Rheneas quickly. It was a surprise. I wanted to help Skarloey, but I didn't tell anyone what I was doing. Please, can I still deliver the freight cars for him?
Of course you can, laughed the narrow gauge controller. Now we all know what you're going to do. Rheneas smiled, and so did his friend Skarloey. Now he knew about Rheneas' surprise. He could finally take a well-earned rest. Rheneas felt very happy. Here are some dots. If we join the dots, we will see one of our favorite friends on Sodor. Can you guess which friend it is? Let's join the dots and find out. Off we go. First, around the buffers. Those look like an engine's buffers. Now the wheels. 1, 2 pairs. Then around the back. There's no separate coal tender. Do you know which engine this is yet? There is the dome and the funnel. This is a small engine. And this engine is green. It's Percy. Hello, Percy. Freddy has a heavy load today. It has to be delivered to the transfer yards. First, he has to go up this steep hill. Does Freddy have to puff fast or slow? If he puffs up slowly, the load will pull him back down before he gets to the top. So what should Freddy do? That's right. Freddy has to puff up the steep hill quickly. Now Freddy has to puff down the steep hill. Does Freddy have to puff fast or slow? If Freddy puffs down too fast, his heavy load could push him off the track. So what should Freddy do? Yes, Freddy has to puff slowly down the steep hill. Freddy put on his brakes so he could puff down slowly. Now he can deliver his load safely to the transfer yards. Well done, Freddy. The island of Sodor is a wonderful place. Thomas enjoys puffing all over the island. There are lots of special places to visit. Where's this? That's right. It's Brendam Docks. Brendam Docks is a very exciting place. There are ships and engines, and cargo is unloaded every day. There are always new people to meet and exciting things to collect. One day, Thomas had to collect the circus from Brendam Docks. There were acrobats and clowns, costumes and carriages, and a big brass band. Thomas thought there was nothing more exciting than the circus. The circus was very heavy, but Thomas was determined to pull it all. Another day, Rocky the Crane arrived. Rocky was tall and very strong, but he had no engine. Gordon thought Rocky couldn't be really useful if he didn't have an engine. But Edward wasn't sure if Gordon was right. Rocky looked like a gentle giant. Edward knew that gentle giants are always useful. Once at the docks, Henry had to pick up a new flagpole. But Henry couldn't see the flagpole anywhere. He looked for tall things. He saw the tall masts on the ship, and he looked up at tall Cranky. Then there was trouble. Henry didn't expect to see the flagpole lying flat. Henry felt very silly. Brendam Docks wouldn't be the same without Cranky. Cranky was unloading a very heavy crate on the end of his hook. Inside was an important statue. Thomas was waiting. "I want to see the statue," tooted Thomas. Cranky didn't like being rushed by tooting tank engines. Cranky asked Thomas if he thought the statue was of him. Thomas thought the shape of the statue was exactly like him. He was very excited. "All those engines think they are more important than anything else on the island," Cranky thought crankily. Thomas smiled. That's why Brendam Docks is a very special place for Cranky. There are so many special places on the island of Sodor. Next time, Thomas will show us somewhere else. Percy is excited. He is going to look for some hidden treasure. This map will help Percy find the treasure. The treasure is hidden under the red cross. The dotted line will lead Percy to the cross. Percy is ready to go. Can you help him? Percy has come to a junction. Which way should he go now? Should Percy go towards the hill or towards the lake? The dotted line goes towards the hill. That's right. So Percy should go that way. Percy has come to another junction. Which way should he go now? Should Percy go towards the castle or towards the farm? The dotted line goes towards the castle. That's right. So Percy should go that way. Percy has arrived at the castle. He's very near the treasure now. Which way should he go next? Towards the village or towards the cross? That's right. Percy has found the treasure, but he couldn't have done it without you. Well done, everyone. Here are some dots. If we join the dots, we will see one of the engines of the Sodor Railway. Can you guess which engine it is? Let's join the dots and find out. Off we go. There's the front of the engine. It's very straight, isn't it? And you can't see the wheels. They're hidden. The back and the top, they're quite straight too. Do you know which engine this is yet? It has a small funnel. This is a very square engine. There's only one engine that shape. Yes, it's Toby. Hello, Toby. Thomas and the Treasure. Brendam Docks is a very busy place. Engines bring freight cars, trains unload cargo, and ships bring visitors. One day, Thomas had to collect a very important visitor, the Admiral. Thomas was to take the Admiral to open the new Maritime Museum. It was a museum all about the sea. Salty was excited.
The Admiral is always looking for the lost pirate treasure of Sodor,
He said. Pirates? Scoffed James. Treasure? Huffed Emily.
Yes,
Said Salty.
but no one has ever found it.
Salty told them there were 3 clues.
First, find the eagle of the mountains. Its beak will point to the clouds, not in the sky. Then, those clouds will lead to the skull and crossbones. And there, you'll find the treasure, me hearties.
Eagle, clouds, skull and crossbones, tooted Thomas excitedly. I'm sure I could solve those clues. Emily and James thought it was all nonsense, and that made Thomas cross. Just then, the Admiral arrived. Thomas puffed off to collect him. The Admiral had to be at the museum in time for the grand opening. Thomas felt very proud to be taking him. What if I arrived with the Admiral and a chest of pirate treasure, thought Thomas. That would show James and Emily. So Thomas chuffed onto the track away from the museum and set off into the mountains to look for the first clue. How could an eagle point the way, wondered Thomas? How could clouds not be in the sky? And Thomas knew he had never seen a skull and crossbones anywhere. Later, Emily puffed towards Thomas. "There's no such thing as treasure," she laughed. But Thomas paid no attention. The eagle of the mountains had to be somewhere.